Welcome back to the Python programming specialization. So we are at the second part of the dictionary data structure. In this lecture, we'll be discussing how do we update an existing dictionary, and moreover, what are the different methods available in the dictionary class and how do we use them with suitable examples. We know that dictionary is a mutable data structure. That is, once the dictionary is created, it is possible to add new elements to the existing dictionary. Then we can even replace the existing elements, remove the elements from the dictionary. So now let's see how do we update the created dictionary. The elements of the dictionary can be updated. You can update an existing dictionary by passing key along with the index operator. So the general form is dict of key equal to value. So in the dictionary, if that particular key you are passing is available already, then the value of the existing key is updated with this new value, and in case if the key is not already present in the dictionary, then your element along with this key is added as a new element to the existing dictionary. So now let's see some of the examples. So already D1 we have as a dictionary, and this D1 I am passing grade, and I am going to update the existing value of the grade from A to A+. So this is how I can use D1 of grade equal to A+. So now in this example, I am accessing D1 of marks equal to 76. As D1 does not have any key value with the marks, then it is added as a new key along with the associated value 76. This is how we can update the existing element, and also we can even add a new element to the dictionary. So now let's see what are the various methods that are supported by the dictionary class. So large number of methods are supported by the dictionary. Now in detail we'll see one after the other with suitable examples. So let's start with the simple get method. Get method is basically used to retrieve a particular value associated with the key. So whenever you pass a particular key value with the get method, then it returns the value associated with the key value. Here you can see D1 the dictionary, and I am accessing D1 dot get of name. In this case, name is already available in the dictionary and its associated value is Ram, so it returns the value Ram. And if you use D1 dot get of branch, in this case you are trying to retrieve the value associated with the branch. So that's how you can use get method to retrieve a value associated with the key. And in case if the key is not available, you want to get a default value to be returned by the get method, then along with the key value you are allowed to pass a default value. In that case, if the key is not present in the dictionary, then it returns that default value, and if it is already present, then the associated value is returned by the get method. Items is the another useful method supported by dict, which is used to retrieve all the elements of the dictionary as a list, where the list contains key value pairs as tuples. So you can see here D1 dot items, and it returns a list. You can observe the list contains elements as tuples, and in every tuple it indicates that the first key value pair name and Ram. The second tuple contains the second key and value pair of the original dictionary D1. So that is how it returns all the list of elements as a list of tuples. Now let's see how we can use keys method to retrieve all the keys available in a dictionary as a list. Whenever I call this keys method with the dictionary D1, it returns all the keys available in the dictionary D1 as a list like this. It returns name, branch and grade, as these are all the keys that are present in the dictionary D1. So you can even use values method to return all the values that are available in the dictionary. So you can use it like this, D1 dot values. So it returns a list of values. These values are actually the values that are taken from your dictionary D1. So Ram, CSE, A. These are all the values, and they are returned as a list by this values method whenever you use it with a dictionary. Now let's see how can we use a pop method to remove a particular element having a specific key from the dictionary. So here you can pass the key of that element you want to remove to the pop method. That is how you can remove that particular element whose key is equal to key, and the associated value is also returned by the pop method. So here you can have this example D1 dot pop of name. It removes an element from the dictionary D1 whose key matches with the value that you are passing, that is name. So here name is a key which is having the value RAM. That's how this method pop returns the value RAM, and moreover if you try to access D1, your D1 contains only 2 elements. So name, associated value RAM will no more available. You are even allowed to remove an arbitrary element using the pop item, which basically removes an arbitrary element from the dictionary. So D1 dot pop item, so any of the arbitrary element from this dictionary D1 is removed. So we are even allowed to remove all the elements in a single go using the clear method. Clear method basically allows us to remove all the elements from the data structure. We have already discussed that in the case of the list and tuples. So now we'll see how we can use it with dictionaries. It removes basically all the elements in the dictionary whenever you call that with the dictionary D1 dot clear, and after execution of this statement, so all the elements are removed, but remember still the data structure D1 is available as a dictionary, but it's an empty dictionary without any elements because you already deleted all the elements using the clear method. That is how you can basically remove a particular element whose key matches your key value by using the pop method. Then you can remove any arbitrary element from the dictionary using the pop item. All the elements can be deleted using the clear method. So including the structure, if you want to delete, then you have the del operator. Now let's see how do we copy a dictionary to the other dictionary. So copy is the method which allows us to a shallow copy of a dictionary. So this is a dictionary D1 and I am going to create a shallow copy of this by using the copy method. D1 dot copy I am calling, and it creates a shallow copy of D1 and assigns that to D2. So hereafter D2 and D1 contains the same elements and the structure, but remember they are not pointing to the same object because a fresh copy of D1 is created and that will be assigned to D2. That is how hereafter if you do any changes in D1, that will not affect D2 because these two are different instances hereafter. They are not pointing to the same object. That is to be noted. So we have some additional methods in the dictionary class which allows us to create new dictionaries from the existing dictionaries. Okay, that can be done using the from keys method. So from keys basically takes a sequence as an argument and an optional argument v also. So when you call this from keys method by passing a list of values, what happens is a new dictionary D2 will be created where the key values are taken from the list. Basically here in this example we are passing 1, 2, 3 as the list, and your D2 will be created with all these 3 values as the keys. Because you are not passing the second argument, that is v, so the values will be considered as none. Basically whenever you are creating a dictionary using the from keys method, all the elements will be getting the same value. So now consider this example where I am passing a sequence and also a value. Now a new dictionary D3 will be created whose keys are 4, 5 and 6, where the values of all these elements would be 10 itself. That's how from keys method allows us to create a new dictionary whose elements are taken from the sequence and whose values are equal to the value we are providing. If nothing is provided, then the value is considered as none. So now let's see how do we update. So we can update a dictionary elements depending on the elements from the other dictionary. So now let's see that. So consider this dictionary D1 and D2 is another dictionary. Here if you observe, D1 and D2 is having element with the key value 1 in common. So if you call D1 dot update of D2, what happens is, so you are kind of updating the dictionary D1 based on the values that are available in D2. So here in D2 and D1 there is a common element with the key 1, right? So that element will be updated with the value taken from D2. That's how D1 is getting the first element with the key 1 and its value is updated from 1 to 10 if you observe. And moreover in D2 there are other elements with the keys 4 and 5 which are not available in D1. So those are also added as new elements to the dictionary D1 and the remaining elements will be as it is. That's how we can use the update method to update one dictionary based on the other dictionary elements. Now let's see how do we use the set default method. So set default method is used to set a default value for an element whose key value is equal to the key. So here in this case So whenever you call the set default method, if the key value is already present in the dictionary, then it returns that value. If that is not available in the dictionary, then the value, the second argument you are passing is D, and that value will be returned. So here if you observe, D1 is a dictionary with 1, 2, 3 as the key values, and I am calling the method set default with the argument 4. That means you are trying to access the key value 4 from the dictionary D1, because it's not available in the dictionary D1, so it is returning a new value with none as the value and key value as 4. So a new element is added to D1. Now let's see when you pass two arguments to the set default 5, 25. In that case, so 5 is not available, so that element is added to the dictionary D1, and moreover you are passing the element also, so 25 will be considered as a value for that key. So that's how set default can be used. So in this lecture so far we have discussed various methods that are available with the dictionary class. So how to use them, what is their usage, and in addition to that we have already discussed so how the dictionary elements can be updated. Thank you for watching this video.